Hey guys, it's Bacon from the ATH server Discord manager. Just creating this video to help you community leaders kind of help manage our guild a little bit better and know how to create a guild channel so that way it operates as we want it to. First thing I want to do is go over roles just because they act as a default. So whatever the roles is set to do, they'll be able to do unless you tell them permissions to not let them. So first things first, you want to go to the three dots on the upper right, and this brings up this menu, and then you can go to server settings, and then roles, the see roles, to edit them. First things first, I wanted to go over to Discord manager's role. In this role, you don't need to worry about permissions for this role because we have this administrator role right here. We can bypass any permission. So we can literally just do anything we want, whenever we want, wherever we want. Don't have to worry about Discord managers having permissions to anything. So you can just really ignore this role when doing permissions and everything, because it's not going to matter what you do. If you deny us visual to a channel, we're going to be able to see it anyway because of that administrator permission. Now, and so these are all of our other roles. We got a lot of them. But so you're really only going to be focusing on 4 roles, 5 including everyone role, but we'll exclude that. So 4 roles. So the community leaders right here, they're pretty much just a Discord manager, except for they don't have the administrator role. So they can't bypass permissions. We set it this way, that way they just can't see the Discord manager chat. That's the only thing that you guys aren't going to be able to see as community leaders. Otherwise, you guys should have permission to see everything. And as long as we set it up properly as more guilds come in, you should be able to see and edit those channels as well. Just because you do have the manage role, manage channels, you can kick and ban members, you can create invites, you can change your nickname, you can manage other people's nicknames, you can manage emojis and webhooks. This read text channels allows you to see text channels. You can send messages. You can manage messages, which means you can delete or pin any message. You also can post embedded links, attach files, or reach message history. You can use external emojis and add reactions. So community leaders can do everything except for just bypass permissions, really, which is going to be useful for you guys in your role in the server. Now, the other role I want to look at is leaders. And so leaders are really just set up as normal members. And by normal members, I mean that they don't have any special role permissions. They can read text channels and see voice channels. They can send messages. They can read messages and use the external emojis and add reactions. And I haven't set it up this way just because leaders are able to see all the other guild channels, but I don't want them to have the ability to edit the guild channel unless it's their guild channel. And so the permissions in the categories and the channels actually adjust that, and we'll go over that in just a second. But all you really need to know is that leaders by default are able to see channels and are able to send messages in channels, and they also can manage roles. That's the one special thing about leaders from all other roles besides the community leader and Discord manager, is that they can manage roles. All other roles are unable to manage roles, other than those top 3, the Discord manager, community leader, and leaders. All other roles are kind of set up as basic members, and again, by basic I mean that they can really just send messages and read text channels. And same thing for the regular member role. They can just read text channels and send messages. Okay. And so again, the role permission acts as a default. Okay, so if because community leader has the ability to edit channels, unless you deny the community leader permission to edit those channels, he's going to be able to do so. All right, let's get into giving the permissions in the category and the guild channels. the guild category and guild channels. I'm going to use catch as an example here. So to edit the guild category, you have to hold down on it, bring up the menu, and then hit edit category. Or on the computer desktop version, you would just right click and hit edit channel. And then we want to go to permissions down here. All right. And so first things first, so all guild channels are set to private. It's super easy actually to set a guild channel to private, because all you do is add the everyone role down here, and you put read text channels and see voice channels as X. And so inside of categories and channels, this everyone role, it sets it to anyone that isn't in this list right here. If you set it to not able to read text channels, or anyone that's not here is not going to be able to see this channel. So because community leaders and leaders are here, they can see this channel. Also catch officers and catchians. So that means that like UV officers can't see this channel because they're not on this list. Or NSS officers, or just regular members. If you're not on this list, if the everyone role has the read text channels X, then you're not going to be able to see this channel. And that's important for these guild roles because these guild categories, because we only want the guild members, officers, and leaders to see this channel. Now, back to what I was saying earlier about the default permissions. See here, the community leaders, we got them here. But they don't have the manage channels, they don't have manage permissions, they don't have send messages, manage messages, read history. But that's because they already have that permission in their role, so we don't need to add it here. It's just redundant. You would be making more work for yourself if you did that. And so really, since community leaders have all the permissions they need assigned by the role, we just need to make it so that they can view this category. And to do that, you just do read text channels and hit check mark, make it green for yes, this person can read this channel. And then all the other all the other permissions in that role kind of drop in here. So because they already had ability to manage channels, they can do that. Since you already had permissions to edit permissions, you can do that. Same for webhooks, messages, manage messages, embedded links, attach files, read message history, use external emojis, and add reactions. Okay, and so onto the leader role. The leader role we actually have set as just a read here in the permissions. And I know that's kind of weird because the leaders can edit channels, but we don't have manage channels here, and we didn't have it in their role. But that's because I set it so that the officer role can only do that. But each leader should have their officer role. So that makes it able so that they can manage channels, because I set the officer role to be able to do so. But so basically for leaders, we just need to make them able to read this channel. So make this green here on read text channels. Boom, they can see it and they have all their permissions. So they can manage roles and stuff. And so this is where it really gets important, is this catch officer or the guild officer role. Like I was saying, in this category, we allowed them to manage channels, manage webhooks, and manage messages. This gives them the ability to completely customize their category, their guild category and channels, besides manage permissions. I set it like this because I don't want anyone other than Discord managers or community leaders messing with permissions. I feel just the little amount of people, the less problems we'll have going forward. Now, so the reason that leaders can manage channels is because if they have their guild officer role, which they should, these permissions, like manage channel, it'll rise up to the leader role. Because we didn't tell the leader role it can't do that here, it kind of squishes all these permissions together. So as long as the leader has the officer role, the officer and the leader will be able to manage channels but not permissions, webhooks, read messages. All roles have the ability to send messages, so they'll be able to do that. This one gives them the ability to manage messages so they can delete and pin messages. And they already had the embedded links, attach files, read history, use external emojis and add reactions, so we don't need to touch that. So we just need to give them the manage permissions here in the category. And then the guild member, they just have the ability to see it because they don't need any special permissions. They're just here to kind of read and reply as needed. They don't need to be able to edit anything. Okay, so again, basically, quick lowdown on that is everyone needs to be set to can't read text channels. That way it makes the guild private. Give community leaders the ability to see it and the leaders the ability to see it. And give the members, the guild members, the ability to see it. And then just add the officer role. Remove permissions. Let them see it. Give them manage webhooks, manage channels, and manage messages. That way the officers and the leader of that guild can manage their channels as needed. And I haven't set it up this way because if I were to give leaders the manage channel option and everything, they would be able to go into other guilds and edit those channels. And I don't want to let them have that ability. So we just went ahead and we limited them here. Makes it so they can do whatever they need to in their guild as needed, but they can't do anything outside of their guild besides see and message. And so all other channels like State of Guild, Guild Cantina, Raid Operations, all these channels, they're going to be set up the exact same way. And honestly, managing permissions on the computer is way easier because as long as you have the permissions set up properly in the category, you can, on the computer, you can go in here and edit the permissions. And there's like a sync button, and you can literally just sync these permissions to whatever is on the category. So it pretty much will bring the category permissions into this channel, so you don't have to do this for every single channel in the guild, which is really awesome, and I'm glad I found that out recently. Now the other thing though, so all channels except for the officer channel you can sync. The officer channel you can't sync because it would give permission to all leaders to see that officer channel and all members. And I don't want leaders to see the officer channel unless they're in that guild or they're helping out that guild. And then we don't want the regular guild members to see the officer channel just because they're regular members. And we don't want them to clutter up that stuff or anything. So for the officer channel, it's actually way easier. All you got to do is what I did is I would just hit sync and then delete out all the other roles. I would delete out the regular member role and the leader role, and because then these two roles, their permissions are going to be exactly the same. Community leaders, you just make them see it because they already got everything they need based on their role. The catch officers, you just need the manage channels, the don't manage permissions, the manage webhooks, see the channel, and manage messages. That way they can still edit this channel in this category. Yeah, and that's basically it. And a quick tutorial on like creating a guild channel. I mean, you just go to these three dots. You would hit create category. You would name the category. You can even hit this private option and then select community leaders, the officer role, and the member role. And then just hit this check mark. Once you name it, and that'll create the channel and that'll make it private. But again, if you don't make it private, it's no big deal right here because you can just go and add the everyone role and make it so everyone can't read the channel, which makes the channel private. And then you just add the people who need to see it, which again are the four basics: the community leaders, the regular leaders, the guild officer role, and the member role. And then you just do the category permissions, and then you would just sync those permissions to all the other channels except for the officer channel. That one you can sync and then just delete the leaders and the regular members role, and you'll be good to go. All right, guys, this is my quick tutorial. Hope it was quick enough for you. If you have any questions or concerns, just shoot me a message, and I'll answer them the best I can. All right, thanks. May the force be with you.